stop building multi-agent systems? I see this question every single day. Someone posts in a community or on Twitter, like, I want to build a team of AI agents, a chief of staff, a sales head, a project manager, a hiring agent. How do I make them work together? And everyone jumps in with framework recommendations. They say, oh, you just need Crew AI, or you need AutoGen or LangGraph, and here's how you make your agents talk to each other. Here's how you set up orchestration. They kind of do something like this. They're solving for the wrong problem. The org chart approach sounds logical. You look at your business, you identify the roles, you assign each role an agent. That's how companies work. Why wouldn't it work for AI? Because you're designing personas before you've mapped out what actually needs to happen. You're giving the AI a job title instead of giving it a job. The question everyone's asking is, how do I coordinate multiple agents? That's the wrong question. The right question is, what kind of harness scales as these models get 10 times smarter? Because that is what's happening. Like, this is the METR benchmark for autonomous work time. It measures how long an AI model can work on a real software task before it needs a human to step in. GPT-2 was in 2020, and it's basically 0. GPT-4 in 2023 was maybe 30 minutes of actual useful autonomous work. Claude Opus 4.5, that was in early of this year, last year, was almost 5 hours. Claude Opus 4.6 right now is over 11 hours. The curve is exponential, and it's really not slowing down. At the same time, intelligence is getting cheaper. This is like the artificial analysis tracking cost versus capability across every major model. It's called GDPval. The bottom left is cheap and dumb. The top right is expensive and smart. And everything is moving towards the smart and cheap. The gap between the best model and the second best model keeps shrinking, and the cost of using them keeps dropping. So you've got agents that can both work longer, think harder, and cost less every single quarter. Now, go back to that orchestration framework. They exist because the current models are limited. They need coordination, they need a manager. You break a task into subtasks, assign each one to an agent, build a communication layer between them, handle failures and retries. That's a lot of engineering to compensate for the fact that the model just can't do the thing. But models are getting better at just doing the thing fast. That orchestration layer you built, it does become deadweight really fast. You're building scaffolding around a building that's outgrowing its own skeleton. So what does scale? What kind of harness gets more useful as models get smarter, not less? Folders. Humans already designed the ideal agentic system. I know that sounds way too simple, but think about it. Humans have been organizing work since the filing cabinet. A folder is an index. It's a boundary that says everything you need to know about that task is in here. The constraints, the context, the goal, the relevant files. You point a super intelligent model at a folder, and it becomes whatever that folder needs it to be. It's the same model, different folder, different specialist. I have one model. I don't have 6 agents with 6 personalities having meetings with each other. I have one model. When it opens my ICP definitions folder, it becomes a market researcher. It has the skill file, the methodology, the questions to ask. When it opens my call debrief folder, it becomes a meeting analyst. It pulls the transcript, it extracts decisions, it flags what changed. When it opens a positioning audit folder, then it becomes a strategist. When it opens my front end design folder, it becomes a designer. It's the same model every time. The folder is what makes it different. The context files inside that folder are doing all the work. It's not some orchestration framework. It's not agent to agent communication protocols. It's just the right information in the right place, read at the right time. Every activity an agent does comes down to there are inputs, there's some thinking, there's an output. The folder is the input layer. The model is the thinking, and the output is whatever you need it to be. Here's what matters. When a better model comes out, and it will in about probably 8 weeks if the pattern holds, your folders don't change. Your results just get better. It's the same inputs, it's the better thinking, better outputs. It's that analogy of upgrade the engine, and the chassis stays the same. The whole principle is designed around that. You don't rebuild your system every time a new model drops. You don't rewrite your agent orchestration because the API changed. Your folders are plain text files. They work with any model, any tool, any interface, today, next year, whatever. Think about what a framework gives you versus what folders give you. Frameworks are an orchestration overhead. It's agent-to-agent communication, role definitions in code, complexity that grows with every agent you add. And it breaks when models change their API or their behavior. Folders, on the other hand, have zero orchestration. One model reads a folder, context files in plain text. Adding complexity is just adding another folder. And the whole thing works better, not worse, when the model improves. The other thing people get wrong is they design agents around roles. A sales agent, an ops agent. I don't have roles. I used to, but I got rid of them. I have triggers. If a booking comes in my calendar, a script runs, a call ends, another script runs, a follow-up is overdue, another script runs. There's no sales agent sitting around waiting for something to do. There's, when this event happens, run this process with this context. I have 19 agents in productions. Or I should say, I have 19 automated processes running my business right now. I didn't sit down and design 19 agents. I had 19 things that needed to happen without me doing them manually. Each one got a script and a folder of context. That's it. My morning debrief at 8 a.m., that's a cron job that reads my calendar, my pipeline, my follow-up list, and texts me a summary on WhatsApp. It's not an executive assistant agent. It's a scheduled script with the right context files. My meeting prep an hour before a call, it's the same thing. It reads the entity file for whomever I'm meeting, pulls their history, gives me 3 things I need to know. It's not a research agent. It's a trigger, a folder, and a model. Frameworks assume that agents stay dumb. Every framework that's being built right now assumes that. And it assumes that the agents are going to stay dumb enough to need management. That you need to break tasks into pieces because one agent can't handle the whole thing. That you need communication protocols because agents can't figure out what information they need. Go look at the METR curve again. It's an exponential. We're at 11 hours of autonomous works, and that number doubles every 230 days. Then it's going to double again. An agent that can work autonomously for days doesn't need an orchestration layer. It just needs the right context loaded up front. Everyone has access to the same models. You can use Claude, GPT, Gemini, Minimax, whatever. They're all converging. The capability gap between them gets smaller and smaller every release. Your folders aren't converging with anybody's. The context you've built up about your business, your clients, how your processes actually work, and what your constraints are, that's yours. That's the part that can't be copied. That's the part that makes the same model that everyone else has access to produce results that nobody else can get. The model, to me, is a commodity. The context is the asset. If you want to start, don't go building a multi-agent framework. Don't design an org chart for your AI team. Pick one thing that annoys you, one process you do manually that you wish you didn't. Create a folder. Put a context file in it that describes what this process is, what the inputs are, what good output looks like, and what constraints matter. Point a model at that folder. That is your first agent. Then do it again and again. Each folder is independent. Each one works on its own. You don't need them to talk to each other. You don't need each one to have enough context to do its job. That's how you end up with 19 agents running your business. Not by designing a system, but by solving one problem at a time and giving each solution its own folder. Stop designing org charts for your AI and start making folders.